Okay, good morning, everybody. Played some more of the Blue-Red Delver deck. I've made some changes. Most of the ones that we were talking about yesterday. Third spell Pierce, chart a course over strategic planning, and I've also gone ahead and cut the fourth Gust, fourth Dispute in the sideboard for third Fry and third Hearse. I was really liking this deck yesterday. I was having a ton of fun with it. I think that this may be my current pick for deck I would choose to register at a Pioneer tournament at the moment, especially in paper. Kind of hoping that we end up playing this in a challenge this weekend, but I've been liking the deck a lot so far. Scarlet, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. Alright, Cruise is good, but I guess we'd keep triple iteration, not triple cruise. Not to be the guy that looks suspiciously close to a good schedule that got to be real wild, bro. Glad to see it finally taking notes for the best of me. I don't know. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't recall. It's also like not even like tuned at all. Okay, get to bottom of the Steam Vents. Hopefully get to flip the Delvers next turn. If we miss on the first look, we get a second chance at the other opt. Fire Prophecy, so we're probably playing against the Transmogrify deck. Do I want to keep this Treasure Cruise? We're kind of far away from it, but I mean, if we get the Lofty Denial, the opt, we're only one card in the yard away. Probably have to Lofty Denial that, especially with the Cruise in our hand. Then maybe I'll bottom this. The next, now I can cruise this turn. My spoiler card is the 19th. I'm not really sure when all the spoilers are, though. Go, Delver, go. I can't believe the Delver is just a good card again. It's so weird. Because it died here, but... I think I'm actually going to go Jegantha. Hold up the sensor. Slash consider. Plays well around lefty now. Good job. I think I graveyard that. It's kind of close. And I think I play the Jegantha here. I can block the Chariot, and I have Fire Impulse up for Transmogrify. Maybe they Transmogrify the Chariot. I feel like Shudders were putting Delver oddly. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Are they gonna attack into Jegantha? They probably have a removal spell then. I could impulse the token, but then I'm so cold to Transmogrify that I think I just have to let them get another cat. Yeah, so I think they probably have a red removal spell, or maybe they have second Chariot. Second Chariot removal spell would be the worst case scenario. Okay, they don't have that. It's a lot of cats. Gotta remember that I can tap Jegantha to cast a spell here. Shredder's such a good pickup here. So I should be able to impulse the first cat and then still have another spell up here. What in the world is... Okay, this is the... They usually channel this, but now it gets +1/+1. Enchanted permanent? This stays on the vehicle? What good synergy, huh? So I guess I'm going to take the hit from this Chariot. That's just good deck building right there. Can't remember the last time I tapped Jegantha for mana. I know that we can impulse here. Maybe we should. Yeah, maybe we should have already. Wait, are they... Were they actually dead to me not discarding that land? I could activate the Hall. I think I missed lethal. I think I missed lethal. That being said, double Strangle the cats is fine. Sorry for strangling cats on stream. Okay, so they're still a little shy of crewing the chariot. I guess we didn't have lethal because they had this. We do have a lofty denial. Okay, so we're gonna bring in the gusts, and then maybe the disdainful strokes, maybe not. I feel like the strangles being sorcery speed are pretty bad. Stroke's gonna be pretty good against the chariot deck. This seems fine. They usually transmogrify into Titan of Industry. This matchup seems really good. I'm gonna bring the standing desk down. Yeah, I've seen the Don't Fuck with Cats documentary. It's okay. They boarded Ruach Thar versus spell decks. Yeah, I've seen the Ruach Thars. We've got some Aether Gust though. We've got some cards. Love that Ruach Thar is still seeing some play. I have a soft spot for that card too. I feel like I have a soft spot for any card from the Return to Ravnica block. I say the Sting Desk was worth it. Yeah, I feel like I have a lot more energy and like both on stream and off stream. So if they have Channel to Transmogrify, we get got. I also don't really want my Shredder to die to Fire Prophecy, so I think I'm okay just passing with Denial / Cantrips up. And again, general rule of thumb: if I would put a land in the graveyard, I like to cast the Consider. So I'm gonna cast the Considers here. Alright, so just play Shredder, Impulse / Consider up. Should be enough to stop their Transmogrify this turn. I think I'm holding the Consider. But now I have Lofty Denial / Impulse plus Consider up. So if they go Strangle, I can go Impulse the token plus Consider to Connive if I want, or I could just Lofty Denial. Well, sometimes you get fried, I guess. Thankfully we have Cruise to refuel. My opponent's also missing land drop, which makes the just like Censor version of Lofty Denial better, of course. I can keep another Cruise. Alright, third Cruise, kind of a lot, but feeling okay about our spot. I think we can just Impulse the token here, try to keep them off mana. And then let's use the Lofty Denial while we can actually use it. Oh wait, does this... Oh, this can just sack for a mana. That's right, I forgot that this actually has text. Okay. Guess I was supposed to Spell Pierce then. So now we probably have to Fiery Impulse this. Hold up Gust Pierce, untap Cruise. I could also Impulse 3 mana Treasure Cruise and just hold up Spell Pierce, which is probably fine. I feel like Spell Pierce counters basically everything we're scared about. This may be a bit more mana efficient. Dude, Spell Pierce is great. Is it crazy to play 4 Spell Pierce? It feels like a little too much maybe, but gosh, it's just so good. I think I'm also okay here though to pump the brakes some, put Jegantha in the ham. Morning Drizz. Jegantha seems like it kind of outsizes most of their creatures. Another Chariot. Let's see if we opt into another Spell Pierce. I'll keep a Sprite Dragon though. I guess now I'll Gust the Chariot and then save these spells for the Sprite Dragon. Sega Dragon, okay. They've been missing land drops, so and they put the Chariot on top, so we should be able to spell pierce the Chariot here. Then I'll also Impulse the Reflection, which I guess I could get by land transmogrify, but they've been missing land drops and they put Chariot on top, so I don't think that they're gonna have a land. Famous last words, maybe, but I don't know how they could have one. Dude, their deck is so soft to spell pierce. We're getting some concession lag? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel bad for all the Explorer people. Can you just come play Magic Online? You know, I know that it sucks that I know that you have an arena collection. There's a Magic Online All Access token, although I guess it's halfway over now. You should just come play Magic Online and play Pioneer instead. You can actually make money in the leagues too if you have a positive enough win rate. I know that it's not as flashy. I know that you have committed to Arena to some extent. You should probably just come play Magic Online instead and actually play like the Pro Tour format, the format that you can play in paper. And fine with Explorer, it's fun. That's fine. That's fine. If you like Explorer, that's fine. If you're enjoying it, that's fine. But my recommendation for people asking what to replace to play, if they want to play this deck and they want to replace Cruise, which we've been asked a couple times today, my recommendation is just come play Pioneer instead. Oh, I was worried until they revealed Dragonlord Atarka. The access token is not over. It's about halfway over. What if you play Cruise Addicted Time? Neither of those cards are on Arena. I'm afraid of the learning curve. The learning curve I really think is not that steep. Maybe I'm saying this as someone who's I've been saying this as someone who's been playing it for a long time. Maybe my frame of reference is off, but I think it's all actually. I feel like the interface is very it's very clear. Like it tells you exactly what's going on. You'll play slower, but I think it's always very clear what's happening. And on Arena, it's actually not always clear what's happening. Okay, their hand is a Tarka, 2 mystery cards. They don't have a land to put in for Grazer either. Should be fine to play the Delver this turn. Listen, Magic Online's not perfect. It's not that pretty to look at. But I do feel like it's the place to be playing at the moment. Okay, so they can Atarka this turn if they castle plus Sylvan Caryatid. They go for a Cavalier of Thorns instead, which I definitely do have to counter. The problem is I don't have a good answer for Atarka. Oh no, they're 1 mana short of Atarka. Okay. Still not super good for me. Need to find another Lofty Denial. Flip off a Strangle, and then I don't really want to draw it, so I think I'm going to opt the Strangle to the bottom. So I can try to get the Sprite Dragon out of a Tarka range at least. Oh, the Lofty Denial, 1 card too deep for me to have it up here. But I can now get the Sprite Dragon to 6/6, and so I should be able to rumble with the Dragon Lord. What did the little dots at the top mean? Never able to figure that out. Quick magic question. Little dots at the top. Are you talking about the mana symbols? I'm not. Maybe be a little bit more specific. I was thinking Money Daybreak. I was thinking it's basically a zombie game. I guess as long as they don't invest money into it, it can be a place to be. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to invest money because of the rental service. I would recommend not for sure, but it's also the case that Wizards seems like they're very, very slow at putting relevant formats on Arena. And it seems to be more of a logistical issue rather than like an intentional one. It just doesn't seem like Arena is gonna in any kind of speedy fashion gonna have relevant formats. So yeah, the top right cards, these are the mana symbols. This is what the cards cost. This is costs 1 blue mana. This costs 1 blue mana, so you tap a blue, you cast the card. This costs a blue and a colorless. Pay a blue in any color you want. Cast the card. Yeah, All X is still available. Expires in like 10 days, I think. I think it expires on the 25th. Oh, this dot here. Yeah, that dot up the top left means it's a transform card. So this is now as big as Dragonlord Atarka. I need to find a non-creature spell to start attacking, though. Maybe I would trade. Probably not correct to Lofty Denial my own Shredder here. I think I don't want to offer the trade. It could be close, but I'm really likely just be able to like Lofty Denial the next big thing, and then be in a position where they're just chump blocking. I do think I'm gonna Spell Pierce this because I really want to get the counter on the dragon, and even if they hit Ugin, it's kind of bad for me to use the Spell Pierce, but they don't have Ugin mana anyways. And I'll still have the Lofty Denial. Azure, the 22 months. Appreciate ya. The All Access Pass is $25, and then it also I think qualifies you for a tournament and gives you 100 play points. It's like a really sick deal. Do I think I'll have a trophy race for Pioneer? I don't know. I've been thinking a bit more about the next trophy race or whatever. I don't know when it's gonna happen, if it's gonna happen, what the format would be, but it probably won't happen for a little while. Like, as long as, like, I'm grinding to, like, try to qualify for the Pro Tour, which I'm wanting to be doing, and as long as I'm, like, interested in 2 formats at the same time, it's really tough for me to, like, commit to a trophy race. Because when I do a trophy race, that's, like, all I'm doing. Is the 100 play points all to existing Moto players? Oh, yeah, maybe that was the case, actually. Okay, flip a Delver. Yeah, I thought we had a Grazer command. Maybe we don't. But me and my friend, I was at a wedding this weekend, and me and my friends were reminiscing about our old tournament grinder days, and we dug up this picture of me qualifying for my first ever Pro Tour. Attack with everything. They have another Dragonlord Atarka in hand, so they're pretty incentivized to chump block here. It's kind of funny to think. This is me at like 21 or 22, qualifying for my first Pro Tour Hour of Devastation. Very young, very skinny, very handsome. It was a really good day. It was a really good day. Yeah, all my grinder friends. Young and unafraid, whole life ahead of him, huh? I was playing a Teamer Dynavolt Tower in Standard to qualify. We were actually reminiscing that my last match was really crazy. I can't remember all the details. It's been a long time, but my opponent had like multiple Fevered Visions in play, which is like the best card against me. And like I was barely able to like exactly deal enough turns. Like, and I think I killed my opponent in my upkeep with Dynavolt Tower in response to Fevered Visions triggers to win to qualify for the Pro Tour, which is really awesome. I believe that was how it ended. I may be misremembering a little bit. I also remember this was infuriating to me too, or very frustrating. Infuriating's a bit strong, but I was. I play Magic very quickly usually. My opponent My opponent made like this big attack, and I had a really, really complicated decision where I had multiple Dynavolt towers, a Torrential Gearhulk in my hand. I had Whirler Virtuoso with the ability to make tokens, and it was like one of the most complicated combat steps I've ever had to try to figure out. And I had to make the decisions, to qualify for the Pro Tour. So there was like a lot of like stress and pressure too. And I maybe my perception of time is a little off here, but I really feel like I was tanking for like maybe 1 minute, and a judge said, "Hey, I need you to make a decision right now, or we're gonna give you a game loss." And again, maybe my perception of time is messed up, but I ended up like punting game 1 because I was rushed there too. And I later went back and found like there was a line I could have taken to win. I did win the matchup overall, but it was just like, when I'd been playing so quickly the whole time, my opponent I felt like was playing slower than me, and I'm just tanking on like one of the most complicated combat steps I've ever had to take. It was just so frustrating. Hold on, I'm 28 now. The years have not been kind to me. Yeah, and the round was untimed. The round was also untimed too. Yeah, it was also just supposed to be a warning, but I was told it would be a game loss. It was I didn't had a warning. It was so frustrating to me. I thought it was a really bad judge call. Obviously, judges are just, humans, and they're capable of making mistakes. It's fine. I did end up winning anyways, but it was at the time it was just so frustrating. Yeah, I know on time doesn't mean unlimited time. My perception of time may be a little off. It is ancient history, but I also had felt like I would, you guys see me play. I played fast back then, I play fast now. I felt like I'd been playing quickly, and it was like one of the most complicated blocks I've ever had to make in the history of Magic, where I had like multiple towers, Whirler Virtuoso, Gearhulk, Flashback Removal Spell, and I had to like, and it was just like finding the right line took so much time. And again, I feel like, the game loss too was kind of the frustrating thing as well, right? Where I should have just gotten a warning. I think maybe I should just go the second denial, but the denials, I think the hard counters are really nice here. I do want to get the counter on the card. Yeah, maybe the rules were different back then too. I think I lofty denial plus opt and discard the dispute probably, so that I can start attacking through the grazer, which is pretty important. Should appeal to have more time to think. I should have, yeah, probably, but I was a bit flustered too because I was like so hyper focused, and then had that comment too, which was really rough. It's okay. It's ancient history. You can move on. Yeah, it's definitely a hard call to make too, and I do freely a bit. Like my perception of the events may be like a little skewed. It can be really easy to be like so hyper focused and think less time has passed than actually had. Okay, this matchup seemed pretty good. 2 big red-green decks in a row, and 2-0. This was like the first tournament I'd ever played, outside of like an F&M or anything like that. And I made top 8, and I'd never been in like a split situation. I had really no idea what was going on. But the judge said, okay, I'm going to hand each of you guys a forest and a mountain. And if you hand me the mountain, that means that somebody does not want to split, and you guys will have to play out top 8. And it's supposed to be like a secret split, right? And all I did was say, oh, that's okay. I'm gonna choose not to split. I told the judge that, and this judge told me to stand up, took me aside, and he like literally screamed at me in front of the whole store, like full on grown man yelling at me for not respecting his authority. And all I did was say, oh, I'm gonna choose to not split. And this is my first tournament ever. He's having a full on like nerd rage meltdown at me. And this man also the same tournament, like there were some Super Smash Bros players on the other side of the room. They weren't even being that loud either, but he's screaming at them to be quiet too. And he has like no authority over the Super Smash Bros players, It was so weird and unhinged. It was a really uncomfortable experience. And you know, just for like just for like the first like for me playing my first tournament ever, it was a really bad experience. Why did I keep playing Magic after that? I mean, I love Magic, right? It ended up working out pretty well. That was, I will say this, like, that was a bad experience. I haven't had any other experiences close to being that bad since then. Maybe better to just chart a course, actually. Post-combat. Yeah, I don't think I need to kill the Hydra right now. But I could definitely see other players totally stopping playing after that, right? Please tell me that dude never judged. No, that dude was like a regular judge in the area for, probably still is now, to be honest. Yeah, people are scooping so fast against me today. Again, those out of like, you know, almost 10 years of tournament Magic, those are the 2 bad experiences I've ever had with a judge, and one of them was like most likely just a weird miscommunication. Every other experience I've had has been really good, really positive. Judges are nice, judges are great, but they're also people, and you know, there's some shitty people out there. There's some shitty judges. That's including 1-2 MDOC bolt lands. I don't know what you would cut, but you could maybe play 1 or 2. Think Thoughtscar would be too good for Pioneer? Yes, yeah, I do. Wheels McGee's gonna 10 months, appreciate ya. Tell a best judge moment. Well, you know, most of my, I think, best judge moment stories are like pretty boring, where it's like just like being friendly with like a lot of judges of the areas and chatting with them has been like always like a really fun, refreshing experience to see, you know, an old friend or someone you're friendly with, which is maybe not as juicy a story as the other ones, but is, you know, more meaningful, I think, than the juice. Trying to think if I've ever had like a particularly wholesome interaction. You don't split. It was the top 8 of a PPTQ. You always play those out, but like they just wanted to split the prizes. There are a greater proportion of shitty players than shitty judges. I believe that. Again, it's not a competition. Not a competition. I think I really want to find a land here. Okay, I think this next shredder is probably going to be too slow to deploy, so I'll discard that. What is splitting? So there was like cash prizes, and you could either choose to split the prizes amongst top 8 or play and, like, you know, get better prizes for higher seed. Okay, Cavalier's pretty good. They hit a Nykthos as well, which is pretty bad for me. Oh, they chose not to put Nykthos into play, which means they have 1 in their hand, I'm assuming. Even then, I feel like maybe you'd want to put it in there. I think I am going to still try to scry into a land. This is like a tad greedy, but I kind of feel like we need to hit a land to win this game, potentially. And then it could be good to Gust the Cavalier, but I think I may have to instead hold up Gust, hopefully be able to Gust end of turn, or try to set up for a turn where we can Gust plus this in 1 turn, or Gust this end of turn on top, counter on the way down. Deck mono white pile. I've been kind of messing around with some mono white decks recently. Pioneer. It's my opinion, if you're playing mono white in Pioneer, you should play 4 Thalia for of the White Archon. The white Archon is like one of the best cards in Pioneer that's seeing no play. It's really good against both the Izzet and the mono green decks. I don't think I need to counter the old growth troll. Weird that they didn't play that before the Nykthos though. I think Karn's trying to make it against blue red. I think it's too slow. At least like this blue red deck just flies over it too. Most of the other blue red decks do as well. I think Aether Gust Miner is probably pretty bad. Binless Marshal's probably pretty bad. Aspirin's pretty good. Savior's pretty good. This card's interesting. Stone Binder's Familiar. So that's combo with Aether Gust Miner. I don't know if that's a card or a synergy I'd be in on, but it is interesting. But I would be playing 4 Archon, 4 Thalia for sure. And then maybe a 3rd Wandering Emperor, maybe not. But I think you can cut the Aether Gust miners and the marshals for those, and then maybe you don't have the support for... Maybe you don't have the support for the Stonebinder's Familiar. You could play like Kithian instead, or, you know, maybe or like the Protection 1-drop you can sack for Indestructible. We just pass here. It's got no cards in their hand, which is nice. I have a 3/5, I can just block the troll. Take a look. I like the Braved Elements lot too. I think that's another good reason to be in on this archetype. You can maybe play the 4th March too if you're looking for one more slot after you add these other cards. I'm not sure if that's necessarily where you want to be, but it would be fine, of course. They put the Cavalier on the bottom of their library. It's kind of surprising. Which Archon? Yeah, Archon of Emeria. I can never remember the name of it, but yeah. You have one in the sideboard. You should be playing 4 in the main deck. It's one of the best cards in the format, in my opinion. You could also maybe main deck some Tomic. Tomic's okay. I think you'd be playing like 3 or 4 Rest in Peace in the sideboard. Probably over Containment Priest now that Winota's gone, but Rest in Peace very good against the Izzet decks as well. We're 3-0, 6-0. I think I'm 3-0. I think I'm 3-0 or 4 going against mono green with this deck too, which is really exciting. I was really worried that the metagame would be kind of stale and like mono green would just be clearly the best deck. But after, you know, after trying to beat it a little bit, I feel like I have been beating it with these Izzet decks at least. I will say this, I think that mono white is underexplored in the format because I think Thalia and Archon are so good and so good together. And Selfless Saber is really good too. We're doing some Goblins and Pioneer. I mean, there aren't really too many. Watery Grave Bloodsoak Champion. There aren't, I think, very many good payoffs for Goblins and Pioneer. My opponent tilted off since I was playing this deck. The Delver deck? I think Delver deck's really good. Number 50323230. Deck tech for Frank. Wanted to give money, so I figured I'd get the deck tech too. Nothing individual, just a different deck of Jessica. I could take a look. Thank you for the money. Dude, Fire Impulse is a sick flip here. I don't really know what they're doing though, but I know they've shocked twice, and so this Delver maybe is going to be good at racing. They're playing Esper, so you have to imagine they've got a decent amount of non-creatures, so I kind of think I'm going to take 5 and then hold up the Pierce this turn. What's going on? Esper Humans, okay, with like Rafine. Dude, people love Rafine. I despise Rafine. Blue, white, Adeline. Okay, so now we Fiery Impulse, the Tenacious Underdog. Dude, Adeline's got 4 toughness. It's kind of crazy. They have shocked 3 times though. Ragavan, Snapcaster, 1 Borrower. I don't really like Borrower very much in control. Like, you have white cards to remove, like, problematic permanents. I also think 9 one-mana removal spells alongside Fury Solitude is too much cheap removal. I would tend to, like, hedge towards, like, 6 removal spells and 3 Evoke Incarnations. I think that you got a bit too many here. Maybe you're not going to be able to race, though. Yeah, Adeline is such a fast clock, taking it from 3 down to 8. This is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'm dead the next turn. My hand is just all counter spells, unfortunately. Yeah, you're also like generally lacking... Well, I guess this is kind of interesting. You're on Snapcaster, you're on Ragavan Snapcaster. I feel like... I think I might like to see you on 0 Marches, 3 Bolt, 3 Prismatic Ending. Just not sure exactly what I want to play beyond that, I guess. How do we get out of this? I guess, yeah, a Chump Blocker's not enough here. They hit me for exactly 5. I could game 2. Esper Human's too good. I haven't seen this deck yet. It's pretty cool. I'm actually, I think, pretty interested in like 2 Spell Pierce in this deck. I think Spell Pierce would be pretty good here. Okay, let's bring in the Fries and maybe just Fry for Spell Pierce, although I'm kind of interested in some disputes. I don't know how many blue cards they're playing or what their blue cards are. But maybe we'll just try Dispute over Chart a Course. Yeah, so I think I like going, cutting the Marches, 1 Bolt, 2 Spell Pierce, and then playing like and cutting the Borrower, and then you can either play like a couple of Ops to outfit your Snapcaster Mages, like 2 Ops, 1 more Snapcaster Mage, or you could play second Jace the Mind Sculptor. Oh, I also don't love the Plains in the Archmage's Charm deck, but if you were going to play it, I would recommend 1 Mystic Gate, although it's kind of awkward with your Ragavan Expressive Iteration. Maybe it's fine just to have the Plains. I know some people don't mind. I wouldn't play the second Rogran Triumph. Second Rogran Triumph's not good. 3 Hollowed Fountain is way too many. Yeah, you need to be on like 1 Rogran Triumph, 2 Hollowed Fountain, 2 Steam Vents, 3 Island, 1 Plains. That's enough fetchable targets. I would be recommending like 3rd Canal for Ragavan. I think it's more important than like 2nd Coast for ending. 3-1 split there. And then you're not playing enough fetch lands. You should be playing, I think, a minimum 8. You only have 7 here. And then you also probably have room for 1 Otawara as well after cutting those other fetchable targets. 4 Blacksmith skill in the sideboard is probably nonsense. I know that it protects your Ragavan. It's pretty bad outside of that. And you can also protect Ragavan with, you know, Flusterstorm, cards like that. I would play Out by Moon over Crumble to Dust. No Lander. Let's keep this put back Lofty Denial, I think. I'd also play like 3 Relics, no Lanterns, or just no Lanterns in general. I know that Waffle likes Lantern, but Lantern's just like, I think a little bit underwhelming. You could also play Hearse, maybe. So, bro, thank you for 25 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, we are settling in. Thank you for checking in. I'll keep a Sprite Dragon. Hopefully, I don't have a push. They play no spells, and blue spells are just Rafine. Wow. Rafine's so good that you're splashing for it, and Pioneer. I feel like your mana is just not that good. They also do play spells, or maybe this is just a sideboard card. Dude, Hearse is so good against me. So good against the Izzet decks. Can we go to the MTG Vegas event? Isn't the Vegas event just... It's like a EDH event thing, right? Do you want Fry over Rending Volley just for Big Teferi? Well, Fry like also is better killing Shredder. Shredder gets to 5 toughness kind of quick. Fry also kills Niv Mizzet, Narset if they don't minus Narset, which they'll do sometimes. There's like 1 more really relevant card I'm kind of blanking on. Okay, I think I have to get the Sprite Dragon down. Don't have a second red at the moment. Red, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate ya. June, Vegas is EDH. November, Vegas is Modern. Oh, wow. This year? I don't know if I can afford to go. I spent, you know, like, Vegas is really expensive. Me and us just moved into a house. It would be really fun to go again, but I think it'd probably be financially responsible. It hits Greasefang too, but we're just kind of comparing it to Rending Volley. Yeah, Summer Braid for Hearse is starting to make some sense, I agree. Did Narset Defiance combo disappear from the format? It'll be back once Blue-Red control players just like play Shredder over Expressive Iteration, I think. It'll just be like exactly back. Aspirant's so good. I like this card a lot. It's a write-off. People keep saying it's a write-off. It's so easy to sit back and be like, Spike, just write off a trip to Vegas on your taxes. But I can't imagine that Uncle Sam is going to be like, all right, this checks out. Flight to Vegas and Caesar's Hotel? That's a write-off right there. Did you stream any of it? No? Oh, okay. That's a write-off. I don't know. It probably would be fine, but I just don't have the guts. I don't have the guts to write off a trip to Vegas on my taxes. Yeah, I know it's not a free trip. I know how claiming the taxes works for self-employed, but I don't want to claim it. It's literally life. I'm building my brand. I understand. I understand. People say this a lot to me. I understand. But it is nerve-wracking to claim something like that on your taxes. You know what I mean? Also, you know, maybe don't want to take tax advice from Twitch chatters, but I'm sure it will be fine. But I don't know if I can pull the trigger on it. I rode a surfboard trips to Hawaii because I work in the surf industry. It's totally fine. And I'm sure it's fine. The American tax system is a hot mess of corruption, a hive of villainy. I know. It's okay. It's fine. I also probably still can't afford to go this year. Me and Esther bought a house, so it's just like it's even if I write it off, I think it's still probably in our best interest for me to give it a pass this year. It's probably in my best interest to concede as well, right? Maybe we should graveyard this. Yeah, we're just super dead. Alright, bummer. No 5-0 this league. Let's go ahead and run back the prediction, though. Let's keep this. I think we'll put back the Sprite Dragon. As per humans. Yeah, as per humans, I don't have a list. We'll get them to play. Definitely need to find a land. Okay, well, if we can find a red source for Impulse, we're doing okay. Blue source. Even if we draw a red, it may be better to play Shredder this turn. Just see what happens. Thank you, Hero Strat. Archfiend's Vessel. So you're going to try to... You get this back with what? The Extraction Specialist? Is that it? You can connive it into the yard with Rafine. Guess you are kind of lacking good 1-drops. Dude, Rafine's not even a human. What the hell? I don't understand. Everybody loves Rafine. I just think this card's like so mediocre. Maybe it's better in Pioneer, I'm sure, than Modern. But like, you're only playing one Adeline. Adeline's like cracked. Adeline's so good. This card has 4 toughness. Like, is it just like, why can't this just be like, your mana's got to be way better for your black-white deck too? Yeah, you can play 3 of an Inspector. You can play 4 Luminarch Aspirant really easily. Maybe 4 Underdog. I don't know. I'm just a goofy blue-red player. Okay, I think we attack, Impulse, Chart a Course. Rafine practically has hexproof. Wait, doesn't it have Ward 1? I'm not gonna look at this card and see. Don't tell me I'm gonna look at this card and see the words Ward 1 and be told this is practically hexproof. What are we talking about here, chat? What are we talking about? I know it's 4 toughness. 4 toughness is a lot, but so does Adeline, right? Adeline also has 4 toughness. I agree 4 toughness is very nice, but Adeline seems more powerful, also is a human in your Thalia's Lieutenant deck. I don't know. I could be underrating it. I know. The new version of the Humans of Pirate Heroes. I like the deck. I like those decks in Modern. I think that you could also build it with Pyre Humans and Pioneer as well. I could definitely see like the whatever this card is called. I might discard the Delver. I feel like the Spell Pierce is gonna be good this game. Love that they trigger Connive for me, by the way. The Extraction Specialist and then Archfiend's Vessel. That could be. I think that tech makes a lot of sense in a Pyre of Heroes Humans deck. Maybe I'll spend some time working on that today or something tonight. All right. I mean, the Opt would be good this game, but I think just making sure I keep growing my Shredder is most important. And I'm about to get a bunch of cards here. I guess I should Impulse the Elf here. It's obviously bad if they... I mean, if they get to resolve Karn, I have Shredder for it. That's like the main thing I'd want to Spell Pierce. And this also stops maybe a Cavalier for a turn. Is Marvel good in Pioneer? I haven't successfully built a good Marvel deck. I've tried a few times. I was really excited about this deck, and maybe it's something I'll revisit at some point. I remember I had an idea for it. Hold on. We were talking about this deck the other day. Oh, there was a 3-mana artifact I wanted to add. But like I thought Fiddlebender getting your Marvel and you get to play like Ingenious Smith, which also digs for Marvel, was kind of interesting, but there's another idea for it too. I can't remember. Claudio already did it with Pyre and Vessel. Yeah, maybe someone can dig up Claudio's list. Yeah, Charming Prince Extraction Specialist is good too. Dank, 5 months, appreciate you. Star of Extinction, Real Hero vs. Mono Green. Yeah, I deleted the list, but like back when Pioneer was a new format, I was playing a lot of or some Mono Red Death Bellow Star, which was if you resolved Death Bellow Warcry, that card usually won the game on the spot, turning up Minotaurs, and you could like Ritual into it and Pyre, or the 4-mana Ritual into it mostly. They got Meteor Golem. They have 4 mana. That's so random. Jegantha broken. Yes, sorry, I lost my train of thought. And then you also have the combo of playing Boros Reckoner on turn 3, and then you go Ironcrag Feet, that's the ritual, into Star of Extinction, and then you deal 20 damage to your opponent. It wasn't all that good, but I actually think it might be good in like this mono green meta. They all have Nixos. Maybe that's the case, yeah. Oh, yeah, looks like they have 7 mana now, huh? Love to find a Lofty Denial. Although I don't think I can put the Cruise back. Let me just Jegantha. And then can I attack with the Shredder? Probably discard Spell Pierce at this point. I think I attack. What changes you make to the deck? 1.1. We're cut the Strategic Plannings and the Izzet Charm for 1 Spell Pierce, 2 Charter Course, and then the sideboard is -1 Dispute, -1 Gust, +1 Fry, +1 Hearse. Could have held up Spell Pierce. Could have held up Spell Pierce this turn. Oh man. Kiora Cavalier, gross. Maybe I can find Lofty Denial now, though. Preview cards on Sunday. Am I streaming Sunday? I guess I was already planning on streaming Sunday, actually. Oh, dude, and now they get to Nykthos, out Meteor Golem. I get to Connive, though. I think the Rectus mid-range deck is good. Good deck. Alright, this is going to be a tough one. Dude, why did Storm the Festival flashback? Yeah, but I am planning on streaming Sunday, the Pioneer Challenge. My preview card is also that day. I have 2 preview cards. So I'm trying to get Esther to make another PowerPoint. What decks do you feel like have the best matchup against Mono Green? I think with this list we're currently either 3-0 or 4-0 against it. Although I think we're also going to lose this specific game. That being said, we may still win the match. The matchup has felt pretty good so far. I think I also I wrote a little highlight for Channel Fireball actually about the topic of beating Mono Green and Pioneer. I'm not sure if that's out yet, but just to like briefly summarize, if you haven't read it yet or don't want to read it, is that I think the best decks to beat Mono Green are Heroic, Auras, Niv Mizzet, and then I think and then I wrote about like how if you're playing Izzet or Rakdos, like a couple of metagame calls you can make to hedge against Mono Green. And then I also I think I briefly mentioned that like Mono Blue is good against it too, but I don't think I went into too much detail on that one. It was just like a little highlight thing. I actually wrote I ended up writing like 700 more words than I'm getting paid for the highlight. Just kind of like went on and on and on. But I feel like I do that decent. So like the highlight is short. So I do one like short highlight a week, 2 articles and a video for Channel Fireball. But like the highlight is short, so I usually write like a lot more than is necessary. Because does that make sense? Because it's like I'm in my mind I'm like I only need to write a little bit, and I just always go a little overboard. Why is Niv to good against Mono Green? It's a combination of a few different things. I think it's like the sweepers, having access to big flyers, having access to a lot of cheap removal, and also like permanent removal too. Like Vanishing Burst specifically is pretty good against them. Yeah, this is my second ever preview. Double the Masters, double the preview cards. Yeah, I'm gonna preview them both at once. I'm gonna have Esther make a PowerPoint on her impression of the cards, just like last time. Yeah, more of a review than a preview. Do you have an updated Murktide list? I haven't really been playing it. I know that like Andrea Mingucci, Harry MTG, Everos, they've been playing a lot of it more than I have. I think Gab has been playing a lot of it too. It's been really popular. Niv being good, some Claudio propaganda. I think Niv's decent. That's on a Mull to 6. What set is coming out? It's Double Masters. It's just like it's a reprint only set, so no new cards being spoiled. They're reprints, but a lot of new arts, and always good to have reprints, making the game a bit cheaper, more accessible. Oh, yeah, that's true. Gab has been playing a lot of Tamashi combo. Okay. Could be good to play the Sprite Dragon this turn. And then next turn go Strangle, then hold up Gust Opt. I think that's probably fine, since I think we're actually pretty well situated against both Old Growth Troll and Kiora this turn. But I certainly wouldn't fault anybody for just killing the elf here. Who's someone that's playing the 4-color deck? I know Everos plays it sometimes. I know Gab plays it sometimes. Canister's probably got to be the... Yeah, Canister is probably the... Oh, no! I guess you just always freaking kill the elf, huh? Brutal. Canister's off of it? Off your own builds? Yeah, I mean, but like historically, I would say Canister is, Canister's got to be the content creator who's put like the most hours into 4-color content. I didn't know that he was off of it for now, but I'm sure there's like still a lot of resources on like VODs and stuff of his or his YouTube channel. It'd be interesting if they put this on the top or the bottom. Jegantha, thank you for the 11 months. Appreciate you. They put it on the top. Big draw step for me. Just a freaking Spirebluff Canal. Bottom another land. I think it is 5/5 time. Isoldo's Yorions feels like it's better to be proactive in Modern. Yeah, I mean, I think that is... I do think that like 4-color has like a huge chunk of like bad matchups, but it has definitely seen like the paper metagame has like not changed much to like really adjust for the 4 colors presence. Just made it to Plat Explore with Mono Red Fires. Awesome. Canister might be the concentrated to put more hours into Magic. Yeah, I think that's pretty likely. Like maybe most hours streamed Magic overall. I don't know how long Canister's been streaming, but I'm pretty sure like a decent amount longer than I have. And although maybe Gab is the one with the most hours, because Gab I think has been doing it longer than Canister. Gab is like I think one of the, like the more original Magic Twitch streamers too. So opponent's got 1 card in their hand. Yeah, I don't really feel like bolting the Hydra to keep them off Nykthos is going to accomplish enough. I think I should just play the Jegantha and hope they're flooded. Gab started streaming 2016, jeez. Yeah. And I love Paul's streams. I wish Paul would come back for like a Christmas stream every year. Oh yeah, Newmont probably has more hours too. Yeah, Newmont's definitely one of the OGs as well. Yeah, Gab also streams like 6 or 7 days a week, and like he streams more hours a day than I do too. Reed 2, Jim Davis, yeah, LSV as well, of course, yeah, all the OGs. Man, I used to watch, you know, back in the day. I really just watched Luis, Gabby, and Paul, but I watched Paul's stream the most. Nobody has more than Kenji, maybe Caleb. Yeah, Caleb has a lot of hours too. How did I forget Caleb? I've been watching Caleb play a lot of Cube lately. I actually did a Cube draft last night. I also did a Cube draft for my Channel Fireball video this week, so I know there's a handful of you who ask for limited content from me every once in a while, and I had a small spoiler for the Cube video. I have a Pack 1, Pick 1 Soul Ring. Yeah, Darkest Mage's been around for a long time too. Yeah, we love Caleb. Yeah, Caleb's been around a long time. Definitely a lot longer than I have. Okay. Probably getting mono greened. I think this is our first time losing to mono green in like 5 matches against it, and it's okay, I guess, to lose to it every once in a while. And enough to kill my Jegantha. Okay, so we're with Delver, we're currently 5-0 into 3-2 into 3-2 into 3-2, which is, you know, not super exciting, but still very solid win rate overall. I am liking the deck a lot, but I do want to pivot to this deck. Not this deck. This deck. Does anybody? We were talking about Hope Breacher. We were talking about this deck recently. There was another 3-mana artifact I wanted to play as in the Fiddlebender chain. I can't remember what it was. If anybody can remember or has been telling me already and I haven't seen, just let me know. But I want to return to the Gearhulk create.